Hey everyone, Adam here, So Wizard Podcast. I have another interview for you today. I got to sit down with Justin Berti to talk about his career. I mean, this guy has lived multiple lives in a short amount of time. Really cool guy, fascinating to talk to. I mean, we talked for a little over half an hour, and I feel like we barely scratched the surface. He is a baseball player, baseball announcer. He lived in Japan for like 12 years. He started there teaching English. He ended up getting into acting, not in Japan, but before, but ended up acting in Japan. Now he's in Hollywood acting. I mean, he's been all over, but he's going to do a better job telling you his incredible story better than I can. I just found it super inspiring to talk to somebody like that. I mean, I feel like I push things pretty hard, and then I talk to someone like Justin, and no way, like, I'm taking it easy. Let's go for it. So enjoy the interview. It's fascinating, and hopefully you find some motivation in it too. Hey everyone, Adam here, So Wizard Podcast. I'm sitting down with Justin Berti. Hopefully I did that right.
Perfect.
Awesome. You have two movies coming out on the same day, which is insane.
Yes.
Before we get there, though, I always like to ask creative people to go all the way back to the beginning and kind of what was your genesis getting into show business? And then there's a lot of things to ask about your moving around and your past and all the different careers.
Okay. So we're talking about when I first got paid or first got interested in acting?
Well, let's do both. Like, first, what was the spark? Like, what interested you, and then how did you get in there?
It's fun. I was just asked this question the other day, and it will sound like I'm an absolute narcissist, I guess. But it's something. It's different. It's not just I want the spotlight. Or maybe it is. I was an excellent baseball player at Laguna Beach High School. And when I say excellent, it means I did very well, making great plays, and just I was an exciting player to watch, but nobody watched me. Nobody. There wasn't that much school spirit at Laguna Beach for the most commonly known sports. Football, basketball, baseball. We were not strong. Laguna Beach, water polo, volleyball, surfing, very strong. But our school spirit lacked a lot. But when it came to the creative arts and drama, the High School Musical was always sold out because of our the head of the department, Mark Dressler, who is very close to me and probably the reason why I started acting. He wanted me to be part of the drama productions since I was in middle school. And I would always blow it off and say, Mr. Dressler, I play baseball all year long, which I did. That was my sport. So I took a video production class at the end of my sophomore year. And one of the requirements in that class is you have to choose a date to film the school musical. And when you say film the school musical, we had three cameras, stage right, stage left, center stage, three students. And when Mr. Dressler rose his hand, we just pressed record and we sat down and got to watch the musical. The musical happened to be Bye Bye Birdie. I sat there every night, saw a full house of people laughing, clapping, and standing ovations. I'm like, I go, nobody watches what I do on the baseball field. I swear to God, next year I'm going to be on that stage. It was that energy of live theater that got me into it. And the next year I tried out for the school play, Can't Take It With You, and got one of the leads. The lead was Tony. There's a movie. Jimmy Stewart played that part. And the rest is history.
That's pretty cool.
That was like an acting bear just chomping at me, going, "This is it. This is what you're meant to do."
Was there any part, as someone who hadn't acted, because obviously acting is not an easy thing, but was there any part when you were sitting there being like, I bust my ass for baseball, like running sprints in the heat and doing all this stuff?
Yep.
And they're just hanging out having fun.
Oh, repeat that last part.
You see the other side, they're just kind of hanging out. It looks like they're just having fun. Like you're not seeing all the work that goes into it at that point.
True. And there's not much, chance of injury when acting, but baseball, you have something coming at you 85 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour. There wasn't so much glory to it. But with Mr. Dressler was a very easy drama teacher to get along with. There's terrible drama teachers. There's wonderful drama teachers. Just the very simple um, instructions. Know where your prop is, wear your character shoes um, in rehearsal because it feels different, and don't leave so much dramatic pauses. That was his big thing. And I remember in this play, there's a father and son conflict. And I've seen it in movies. I've had it with my own father, who's amazing, but two Italians going at it, arguing about, well, you got to do this for your life. No, I want to do this for my life. No, you should do this for your life. There's a scene in the play where Tony tells his father, you weren't always a businessman. You wanted to be an artist. You wanted to be a trapeze artist, because he wanted me to follow in his footsteps, but I didn't want to do that. And when we get to that part in rehearsal, Mr. Dressler stopped the rehearsal. I said, Mr. Dressler, don't worry, I got this. And then I went off, and he didn't give me one note because I knew it. So that's all I took from the great movies I saw as a kid that my family and especially my father introduced to me, and just I tried to mimic it and bring it on stage.
So you're basically a natural.
Yes. Our family is very animated and comedic. So I was raised with seeing that. Okay. Going to parties, I see my uncle and my dad take over with telling stories of our family that most of the people don't even know these humans, but they're telling it in such a way that everyone could relate. It's just like a stand-up comic talking about their mom.
Learning how to control the room, but you're kind of doing it second nature because you grew up with it.
Yes.
That's really interesting. That's a cool way in. So from there, your spark of acting, when did it become like, oh, this is not just something I do in high school, to get some recognition, but a career?
All right, here we go. Again, baseball is involved. I go to Columbia University. I'm recruited to play baseball. Freshman year, I'm moving from Laguna Beach, California, sunny, warm weather, and you go to school in the fall. It's cold in New York, and we're doing practices outside. I guess I didn't warm up very well. We're 3 weeks in. A ball skips and hits me in the face, and it shook me. It's like, wow, this shortstop sucks. This hurts. I ran around the bases in one of the practices, again, like 4 weeks, first month into it, and I pulled both my quadriceps, and I saw that as a sign from God that this might be my time to quit baseball. Pull the quadriceps, quit baseball, and I see Good Will Hunting. Ladies and gentlemen who are watching this, I am an idiot. I wanted to be Will Hunting and just study so hard and know every answer to everything. Be intelligent, and then, hey, maybe I could be an actor, make money. So I watched this movie. I'm going to be Will Hunting, and I go to my first audition. I mean, I was in New York. I had no idea how the business was. There's so many ways to get taken advantage of. I just happened to sign up with an agency that just did cattle calls, and the first job I ever auditioned for was an NYU brochure. I remember like 750 people were waiting in line. I gave them my headshot, I walked away, and they just took some pictures of me, and I got the job. And I remember my father say, I pray that you wouldn't get that job so you don't think it's easy. So, and it's true. He said, I was praying you wouldn't get that. So I made $750. I thought I was a rich kid. Then I did extra work in, what are they called? Oh my God, I only know it in Japanese. Saigen drama, reenactments. Doing reenactments, stuff like that.
Reenactments for like dramatized TV shows, like crime shows?
Discovery Channel. I can't remember. Oh my God. I guess my claim to fame, if there's any fans out there, I did, I forgot the name of Ruby's Costumes. Do you know Ruby's? It's like one of the most, Ruby's one of the most famous Halloween costume. I started out doing a chef. I did Anakin Skywalker. I was on the cover of the packages.
Oh, the costume like in the bag with the cardboard front?
Yes. A chef's hat with a pig coming out of it, caveman, Anakin Skywalker, and I'm getting checks. I'm thinking I'm the man, $250 a shoot.
Yeah.
And then I realized that I was throwing away this God-given talent of baseball. And the next year, sophomore year, I went on as a walk-on. I didn't play my freshman year. I quit. There was a different coach who happened to be the coach that tried to recruit me from Dartmouth College. He became the Columbia College coach, and he pretended that he didn't know who I was, so I'd have to hustle even more. I came on as a walk-on, rookie of the year. 2 years later, MVP, team captain. Baseball was my thing. I did Shakespeare plays at Columbia. I did short plays. I was doing a lot of theater. That's where I got my training, so to speak. Sorry, keep kicking this.
No problem.
Yeah.
So, baseball.
And that's how the professional started. Was the brochure with NYU.
Okay, yeah. Right. So you were acting through college, and then you kind of were a model to start your paid career.
Yes, exactly.
What was your first acting paid gig?
Would be the reenactments.
Oh, the reenactments. That's right. You did mention that. Yeah.
Would be the reenactments.
I know you lived in Japan for a while, but the reenactments were done in America, right?
The one reenactment I did was in America, and then there was a lot of reenactments in
Okay,
Japan.
so that's why you could only come up with a Japanese word.
Yeah. Well, because one, they were looked down upon by the talent in Japan, models, because they didn't pay well. So in Japan, there was an ache I had for about 12 years, was real acting. There wasn't much real acting for a foreigner. It was, I wiped the floor, cleaned house in commercials, dancer, background dancer in music videos, sports model. I had a body, so like fitness gear and all that stuff was wonderful. I was constantly working. So the Saigen drama would come sometimes. I remember I had to play a teacher that was going through a sexual transition. And I'm like, that's a challenge. I want to try it, because I just wanted to act. So most of the acting I had to do there was 2 Saigen dramas and then a bunch of community theater.
So what brought you to Japan in the first place? Because that's a huge, interesting part of your life.
So I'm going to make a very long story very short.
Okay.
After I graduated Columbia University, my mom is amazing. She moved to New York to help support my acting career. We lived in a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom place at first. That works. 9/11 happens, and we have to go to a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom. That doesn't work with living with your mom.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to find a way to get out of here. And it just so happened that I saw an advertisement to teach English in Japan.
Okay.
It's so hard, this story. It wasn't advertised to teach English in Japan. It was for a shiatsu massage. Yukiko, $30 for 1 hour. I was taking acting classes that the teacher said I'm too bulky. I'm a chest actor. Everything is from here. I'm not living it from my feet up and giving it out. So I thought I should go get a massage to see if it would make me looser. Yukiko is a wonderful Japanese woman who I would get massages from. I had my mom come, my aunt come, very spiritual. She sends out a flyer after 3 months of knowing her saying, hey, New Year's specials, Valentine's Day specials. P.S. If you love children and like Japan, I'm interviewing for a position to teach English to nursery school kids. 700 people called her. She interviewed 100 people in person. Only one person got chosen. That was me. That's the short end of it. I did not choose Japan. Japan chose me. I thought I'll go for 1 year, earn enough money, come back to New York and get my own place. 1 year visa turned into 12 years.
Yeah, that's a long stay.
Yeah.
You must have just, I would assume you just loved the culture from the get-go, because you don't stay 12 years if you don't like it.
Absolutely love the culture, love the cuisine, love the people. It was wonderful. But also, as an actor, when you have constant work, I know I'm successful here. Let me go to LA where everybody wants to be an actor.
Right.
That will be
right.
Fun. But of course, I did it the opposite way of what people should do. People, what they should do is when they're young, they should try the hard place first. I went to Japan. Yes, it was very easy. I could speak English. I have a voice. I could speak Japanese. I have looks. I have a body. I can dance, and I can truly act. So I cleaned house there. So as I got, when I got older, then I moved back into the major leagues, which is Hollywood. But I have I have the work ethic of a Division I athlete, a team captain. I know the work ethic of Japanese people, and I just busted my ass, still am to this day, in acting here in Hollywood.
I would have to imagine it helped that, 12 years outside of Hollywood coming back to Hollywood, but you still now have a body of work and a resume that you can show.
Oh, you talking about what I did in Japan?
Yeah, and it's still acting credits, even if it's not like mainstream American TV or something.
True. The theatrical stuff did not matter whatsoever here when I came, but the commercial reel I had was just like any pro here that's been 10 years. So I had this reel that got me, my cousin helped me get a commercial agent, and this commercial agent saw I had the ability through my reel. And this reel, for example, we're looking for a yoga instructor. Well, I have a yoga reel for what was it, the Intel in Japan. So I send him like, oh, he can do the yoga poses, get that job. Oh, he can dance, get that job. So that's what helped. But otherwise, people didn't really care about the theatrical stuff I had that looked semi-professional. I just had to prove myself with the audition.
Yeah, that's interesting that that didn't. I would have assumed it had more weight for you.
Well, here's how it helped is going into an audition room and I see someone younger than me, or it didn't matter. It's like I've been in 500 audition rooms already.
Yeah,
I've been working for Panasonic, Toyota, Casio, you name it. These aren't small companies,
right.
and there's a lot of pressure that you hit your line, know your mark, hit your mark, know your lines. So coming here, doing a student film, I'm like, well, this is not what I'm not nervous.
Right. Yeah, you've
Yeah.
been through it so many
Yeah.
times that
Yeah.
okay, that's cool too. That's a part I didn't consider, but that makes
Yeah.
total sense. So with the dancing and the yoga and all that stuff, was that just stuff you picked up along the way for your own personal interest, or did you say, I like doing theater, there's a lot of dancing in theater, I should learn to dance?
So a complete mastery of the body, I think, will help any actor. I was always into athletics. Then my stepmom, she was a yoga instructor, and she got me into yoga. My aunt also is a huge yoga fanatic, and so there I was like, okay, let me see if I can teach yoga and fitness. So I studied under my master, Duncan Wong. I'm a certified yogic arts teacher. And I thought, hey, let me make it fun. Let me make yoga fun. It's not just stationary meditation. My master is an extremely entertaining teacher. So I just added on to his energy level. I would teach part-time. I realized it keeps me in shape for the auditions as a model. It helps me learn Japanese because I was teaching both in English and in Japanese, and it helped me with the dance auditions. And then to this when I moved to Japan, one of my first plays I did, I played a yoga instructor.
It's cool that you have that resume where I mean, I'm sure you're giving me the bird's eye view. So in the time, it wasn't just like, oh, this job needs a yoga instructor. Got it. Oh, this job needs a dancer. Got it. But it sounds like your life just kind of worked in this way where the skill you picked up is instantly applicable to your career.
You're right. Exactly. And I used it recently in a Lifetime movie where I just asked the director, I'm like, okay, my character is listening on to a conversation, eavesdropping onto a conversation in front of his koi pond. So basically the script says the guy's listening with a headphone, looking out at his koi pond. I said, let me take my shirt off and do this Tai Chi as I'm listening to be, this crazy psycho. That's a bad guy, but also is into the body, and people are like, what is this sicko doing? That I try to use it as much as possible.
That's cool. Is that Secrets in the Building that you have coming up?
No. It's another one. I don't know what the title is. They always change right before they come out. Secrets in the Building I play the building contractor,
Okay.
the love interest of the main character, who's played by Shamiko Wright.
I thought you just did like the smoothest transition possible, which
Oh,
would have been very impressive.
yes.
But since we're now on it,
Yeah.
how did Secrets in the Building come across your desk?
Secrets of the Building came across my desk through Actors Access, so I usually self-submit. I don't have a theatrical agent at this time. Most of the things you'll see on my IMDb um, are all from my own submissions. Divorce Bait as well, the new romantic comedy coming out. But I had worked with the director Doug Campbell before on Driven to Kill, and we got along. He loved Japan. I think he went over there and taught English for a while. He also knew one of my friends in Japan, so we made this connection. I played the zany Italian race car driver in Driven to Kill. He thought I was hysterical, so I auditioned for the lead role in Secrets in the Building, and he didn't know that I'm a pretty good villain. I mean, that's what I usually get cast as. Even though I'd rather be doing comedy and craziness.
The villain always seems like a really fun role, though.
Yes, because there's no boundaries.
Yeah,
The villain doesn't have to fit in any kind of box that you might have him in. The straight character has to.
Yeah,
The good guy has to. It's like it's the dilemma with Batman, right?
right.
It's the dilemma with Batman.
So along with Secrets in the Building, which is coming out December 9th,
Yeah.
that one's on the Lifetime Network, right?
Yes.
You also have Divorce Bait coming out that you mentioned, which is a romantic comedy. You're not the villain in that one.
No, Divorce Bait's the big one. So if anyone's watching this, if you could type in Divorce Bait into your smart TV right now and just queue it up for a pre-order, that would be amazing. It's a good time. It's what were they? It's Girls Trips meets Bridesmaid.
Okay.
Okay. I said The Hangover meets My Big Fat Greek Wedding. That's how I just it is fun, and I've seen it 3 times in the theater now for premieres, and I don't get tired of it.
That's cool.
I know I'm in it, but I'll give an example. I had there's a movie I did called Frontera, aka Brothers in Arms. It's a wonderful movie, but it's very heavy. So to see the heaviness at each premiere, I'm like, oh man, I have to go down this deep hole again. Because
Yeah.
I felt it. That's how good it was. I felt it. But Divorce Bait is, oh my God, I picked up on this joke and that joke and what that person did. December 9th, it comes out on TV, and it's just a blast. The premise is a happily married woman posts on social media that she's getting a divorce because she wants to see which of her friends or my friends will hit on me and want to hook up. So she puts out the bait, and then that's when the dominoes start to fall. Of course, as the husband, I don't want this to happen. I'm just like, look, I love you, babe. Get over your insecurities. We're gonna be fine. But she does it anyway, and that's the comedy of it.
I did like in the trailer how many people and how many times just in the 90-second trailer told her this is a terrible idea.
Yep.
Because I imagine that's the audience's first thought is like, why are you opening that can of worms?
Yeah, exactly. And what I loved about the director Patrick was wonderful in the fact that he let us in the scenes where there's arguments, he let us be real couples. That would be like, you're insane. What are you doing? Why do I have to go on this date with her? I'm not interested. Oh, you just want to see that she's gonna, want to hook up with me? What are we doing? I love you. So and then it's just another thing happens because she does. She opens Pandora's box with it.
Right, and just it sounds like she just keeps going deeper and deeper instead of trying to pull back.
Yes, and Alexis is played by Vanessa Vasquez, who's incredible. She has a ex-boyfriend comes in, played by Eric Fellows, so that adds the dynamic where I get jealous, and then my insecurities come out because the ex-boyfriend peers his ugly head. Eric, you have an ugly head. He peers his ugly head back into the picture.
Yeah, it looks like it's a lot of fun, and it looked like you said you always get cast as the villain and stuff. So this is probably a nice change of pace for you to
Oh,
be able to just have a good time.
huge breath of fresh air to get that role. And what's funny about this story is Christina Nava is the writer. Patrick and Christina are a married couple. They put it on Actors Access. They put it at $125 a day. This is during the pandemic, and I usually don't do things for $125 a day. But how I read it, I don't know what happened, but I saw Marco Laguna. So just seeing the last name Laguna made me stop on it.
Okay. Okay. That makes
Okay.
sense.
If it was Marco something else, I might have just said, oh, 125. I said Laguna. Oh, looking for a Latino couple, a Latin guy to do this, to play a husband who has a crazy wife. So I was going to play the straight guy to her insanity.
Yeah.
And as an actor, I just need a reel of sitting at dinner, talking to a wife, or going shopping with a wife that's normal, not playing the asshole, not playing the murderer. Okay. I just needed something normal. So I thought it was a director's reel, that he just needed this one scene or two scenes to potentially get investors to maybe buy the movie idea.
Okay.
So I audition. I get a call back. I do it. And during the callback, I said, so this is a short film? Like, no, this is an actual feature film. Like, no, actually, no, I didn't even know then. After the callback, it was like 2 weeks later, Christina calls me, says, we'd like to offer you the role. And good news, it's not 125 a day. It was more. That was great. And I go, so is this going to be like 1 or 2 days? And they're like, no, it's 19 days. It's a feature film. I go, oh my God, I didn't know. I honestly didn't know. And please, for whoever's watching, it's not that I'm an amateur. I just didn't know. I thought it was simple two scenes for a director's reel.
Yeah, if you had limited information, you saw
Yeah.
what you thought was really low pay, you probably figured like, oh, it's low pay because they're just trying to get something off the ground. They're paying out of
Yes.
pocket or whatever. And yeah, that makes sense.
But I did it just for the scene that they had written. It's the dinner scene in the movie where she brings up the idea of let's divorce people to see what we can do. And I go, that is a terrible idea.
Yeah. That's awesome that they had that scene there. And it's like that's what catches you. Cause that's kind of that's half the trailer too, is that one scene. So
yeah,
that's the selling point for sure.
Yeah.
Even 19 days seems really quick for a feature.
Yeah. Well, we had a great cinematography. We had a great crew. Everyone knew their lines. We worked quick, and also it was during the pandemic, so not so much traffic. Everyone was on time.
There you go. Did you have rehearsal time in addition to the 19 days, or was it like, here's the script, show up in a month, be ready to go?
We just had a read through, and there's only Frontera was the only movie I've done where we met for rehearsals. Rehearsals are phenomenal. I love that. But usually it's just we're going to have a read through via Zoom and then show up on the first day.
Wow. That's got to feel weird coming from your theater background.
But I'm so used to it now.
Okay.
Like the theater, when I moved here, I did 2 theatrical pieces, and I realized, wow, theater doesn't pay you anything here. Not going to do that anymore. And the rest was just you got a part on this TV show. You're in. I was in submission. That was the first 6 months I moved here. I submitted to a show that aired on Showtime called Submission. Yes, it's very erotic, but it was very popular, and it was the real deal. It was a TV show that we were signed up to get a season 2, and then things fell apart. Mm. But that was my introduction, basically, was you just show up, have an idea of how you want to say the lines, then go off of what your actor's giving you, your co-star, and then listen to what the director has to say. And because you have to be, as an actor, jump monkey jump. How many hoops can we jump through? And I'm like, bring it on. Let's do it. I know what directors are doing during the auditions when they're like, now try it this way. Now pretend you were a unicorn asking your daughter to give you her iPad. I get it. They don't want you to stay. What? I don't get it. You could say I don't get it. Be more specific, but they don't want to see you go. I really don't know what to do. They want to just see you try something.
Right.
Take that leap and make a fool of yourself. And once they see you make a fool of yourself and hit the marks and the notes that they wanted, I think you're good to go.
Good tips for the audition process.
Yes. Yeah. Here's a tip. It depending on the audition, of course, it always depends on the audition. But if it is a short film and it's a student film, and you're confident in your ability, add a line, change a word, make a bold choice. And I know that there'd be acting coaches here that would say, I did, Justin, no, you take the bold choice no matter what. But if you can make something your own to get that real in a short film or student film, then go for it. I wouldn't change lines in a Coen Brothers audition, right? I wouldn't change
Right.
lines if I was in front of Quentin Tarantino. I'd say the lines, I'd try to make a bold choice, and then wait to hear what he had to say as a direction. But don't play it safe for student films and short films. Go remember, don't play safe doesn't mean overact. That's not what I'm saying. Um, they say don't bring in props. Well, if you think a certain prop is going to definitely help you in this theatrical audition, I'm not talking about commercials, theatrical audition, bring it in. Take a chance. I'll give examples. I go in, I'm extremely confident in all my auditions. I was doing a student film. I forgot the name of the director, and I forgot the name of the school, but he was a director who came from China, already had experience, but needed the credits in a US university. His English wasn't so good, and the stage directions was too much. My character, you say a line, then you slap the guy, say another line, hit him over the head, grab the gun, do this, do that. There's so much stage directions for the amount of words that are being said. So I just told him, I said, look, I'm going to sit down and just say these lines. I'm not going to do the action. Okay. And he's like, okay. I was playing a mob boss. So I think the fact that I told him what I was going to do gave him like, oh my God, this guy, he's a mob. He's taking control. That I think that's what got me the role. Is just say, I'm not doing your direction. I'm going to sit down because I think I forgot his name's Chen. I go, Chen, these stage directions are ridiculous. I'm just going to sit down, say my lines, and we'll go from there. He's like, okay. So
You just put the gravity in the performance instead of running all around.
exactly, because it's pick up the bag, pick up the money. Then he slaps the guy, hits him over the head with a gun. Then he said, you fucking fool. What do you think you're going to do this to me? All right. Cocks the gun. It's too much.
Yeah.
Yes, it works when you have the editor and you have the actual gun and you have the money and the other actors. Then the scene is incredible, but not as an audition.
And also, kind of to your point, he's a mob boss. Is like generally in the movies, the mob boss isn't the one flexing. He's speaking softly.
Yes.
And
but here's the thing.
power.
That's a great note. This scene was a dream sequence. So everything was elevated.
Okay.
So it was, we did kind of overacting. It was a weird dream. And I love the short film called, oh my God,
That's
it's not just about a film.
Do you know where people can find it, or should just Google it and they'll find it?
I think I'll Google it. And I think it's on YouTube.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. And you'll see from this short film that this is not a true student film. This guy had experience. He just needed the US credits.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Interesting to watch now, knowing your I just lost the word for that. Knowing your process, getting the role, your audition.
Yes. Chen was the director's name is Chen Yu. Chen Yu. And Chen was great. He was great.
Well, going back to Divorce Bait and Secrets in the Building, since they're both coming out soon, we said Secrets in the Building is Lifetime Movie Network. Do you know where people can see Divorce Bait?
Divorce Bait, you just have to type it in on your smart TV because it's Roku, Amazon Prime.
Oh, okay, hitting all the major streamers.
Hitting all the major streamers. You have to buy the film at first because it is out in theaters as well, but it's so limited that, do you live in Riverside, California? Please go see it at that theater. I am probably on Friday. Do you live in Seattle at a certain theater? Go see it. Dallas, Austin, Minneapolis, and that's it. 5 theaters.
Okay.
But yeah, just type in Divorce Bait and watch the preview and watch the movie, because it is a roller coaster of a ride.
That's awesome. And do you want to plug anything else? Anything else you have in the works, or like your social media accounts, anything like that?
I would love if you have any questions, want to follow, watch the career blossom. Justin Berti on Instagram at Justin Berti, Berti.
Very cool. Well, Justin, I appreciate you taking the time to come on. That was a lot of fun. I feel like we just barely scratched the surface, but
Adam, thank you. I appreciate this.
absolutely.
Awesome.
Have a good one.
All right, take care.
I'd like to thank Justin one more time for coming on the show to talk to me about his life, his career, his multiple lives, and of course his upcoming projects. Be on the lookout for those. The trailer for Divorce Bait is up on YouTube right now, and even if rom-coms aren't really your thing, the trailer's pretty funny. It has a lot of promise to it. I'm curious to check out this movie when it comes out. Check it out. He's got a lot of work out there. We talked about a lot of cool things. Also, make sure you check out So Is Her Podcast every single week, wherever you get your podcasts. SoIsHerPodcast.com is your resource for reviews, recommendations, videos, merchandise, and more. So Is Her Podcast can also be found on Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month, you get multiple monthly bonus shows, audio and video. We love hearing feedback, so drop us a note in the comments, leave us something on social media. All of our accounts will be found after the show and in the show notes. And on a more personal note, a good friend and I have an ongoing comedy comic series. It's called Social Studies. It's a slice of life / coming of age / sitcom done in the style of 90s cartoons that we grew up on and love. A lot of things getting mixed together in there, but that creates a totally unique product. We're really proud of it, having a lot of fun doing it. We got a bunch of issues available now on socialstudiescomic.com, also available on Comixology, and more coming to Global Comics every day. So check it out wherever you get your comics. Thanks.